What's up, guys? Got some more Crowfall action for you today. Lots of exciting news coming out of the Crowfall camp as of recently. But let's talk about the gameplay real quick. This is just going to be playing in the background while I talk about some other things. This was actually a guild fight that we got into yesterday. This is a 4v9 that we had against another guild. Our 5th group member doesn't show up until about 8 minutes into the fight. He was really far away. So 4v9, and we ended up winning. So pretty proud of my guild here. We had some really solid engages and disengages. We pulled back when we needed to pull back, and we just slowly dissected this group over time. And this was a long fight. Part of that is due to the fact that our group composition here doesn't have any real DPS, or at least not until 8 minutes in when our ranger shows up. We're running a Myrmidon tank, a Templar tank, a Druid healer, and me as a Bard Confessor, which is not very good damage by any means. So we're running a very sustained kind of team comp here, but did pretty well. Pretty proud of my guild. So good on you, guild Segoy. Yeah, that's the guild I'm in. Anyway, so oh yeah, another thing I want to address. There's still currently a cast bar bug. So if you see me standing still, looking like I'm not doing anything, that's because the Bard song cast bar bugs out and disappears. And also, the Confessor has no animation for the Bard songs when you play them, so it's going to look dumb with me. It looks like I'm standing around doing nothing. I promise you I am. So that's the gameplay knocked out of the way. I'll probably address it here and there. But what do we want to talk about? So we got some awesome news. If you're looking at it right now, we are currently in the campaign world testing. This is limited right now to people that have Alpha 2 and above. So if you have Alpha 2 access, you can test the campaign worlds. They are not that great. I'm going to be completely honest. The objectives are pointless. They can be easily stealth capped, and there's not really any point to capturing a fort other than capturing it for the sake of capturing it, and you will inevitably lose it immediately after you capture it because the Tree of Life mechanics aren't in. But it is exciting to see these campaign world mechanics come online. The siege engines are in the game and usable. They're very buggy, but some of the siege weapons are in. I saw some videos about that. But yes, campaign world testing has started. It's a dumpster fire right now, but as the weeks go on, it's going to get better and better and better, and as they implement more things, it's going to get better. So it's nice to see that the game is slowly becoming a game, and campaign worlds were kind of the big feature that take Crowfall from a pile of features and make it a game. So I'm glad to see these objectives coming online. Can't wait to get points of interest and quarries and mines and that kind of stuff to pop online, to have even more focused guild fighting. But yeah, it's kind of nice, even though it's pointless and dumb right now, it's nice to walk in and take a keep from these guys, for example, or take a fort from these guys. So, all right, so campaign worlds testing has started. That's fun. The thing I'm really excited about is the Cleric Reveal. Cleric might actually be my main archetype. Believe it or not, it might happen. So the Cleric is very, very exciting. They reveal the powers for the Cleric, and the Cleric is replacing the Legionnaire. If you didn't know, the Legionnaire is not going to be a class in the game anymore. It's being replaced by the Cleric, and Centaurs can be Clerics. Trust me, Legionnaire needs to go. Legionnaire definitely needs to go. I think 99% of the population is A-okay with the Cleric replacing the Legionnaire. So, let's talk about healing first real quick, because healing in Crowfall has changed significantly. So, they've always said that they didn't want fire hose healing in Crowfall. They didn't want healers healing like they do in World of Warcraft, where the health bar goes from 5% to 100% instantly. The healing in Crowfall is going to be considerably less powerful than most MMOs. However, it has been buffed. Healing is now a role in the game. For a while there, you could be a guy that had heals, but you weren't really a healer. Now, I would say healing is most definitely a definitive role in the game that you can play. However, it is not... That knockdown was ridiculous, by the way. However, it is not crazy hyper powerful like it is in most MMOs, where you're topping people's health bars instantly. You'll notice that the health bars in this game are much less volatile, and you don't see people's health bars just yo-yoing like you do in World of Warcraft. Part of that, that's by design, because this is a game where if you die, you lose your stuff potentially, and there's a lot more consequence for dying. So you don't want to have that kind of crazy volatility. Although you can, with coordination, burst somebody down, and you can, with coordination, heal somebody up pretty quick. But it's by no means like LOL popping Ascendance and topping you off. Like, that's not a thing. So that is how healing is in Crowfall. But yeah, so the Cleric is a definitive healer. All right, so let's get into the details of the Cleric. You have a lot of race selection. I think the Cleric may have the most races to choose from of any class. You can be a human, a Stoneborn, a half-giant, a Ganetian, and a Centaur. So you've got, 5 races there you can pick from? It's pretty good. I think that might be the most of any class in the game. Maybe Knight has an equal or more. But that's a lot. You got a lot of choices there. So that's pretty fun. You use a mana bar, so pretty traditional resource. Nothing too crazy there. You run out of mana, you can't use your abilities. And here's where things get interesting. This is where I was not expecting this class to go. Your left click, which is your primary damage dealing ability as a Cleric, has a 20-meter range. It is called Spirit Hammer. I was very much expecting the Cleric to be a melee class, like a melee healer kind of class, but looks like they're going to have some range. And it looks like the rest of their kit is going to have about that 20-meter range. If I'm, guessing, like Flash of Light, that's got a 20-meter range. So I would assume that most of their abilities are going to be in this 20-meter range, maybe more for the AoE stuff. But 20-meter range on Spirit Hammer, that is interesting. That solidly puts them as a mid-range class. I believe the second closest is Confessor at 30 meters, and then the Ranger is like 40 plus. Like the Ranger, you're going to be able to build a Ranger to have like 100-meter range. It's nuts how crazy far you can get the Ranger out there. But yeah, 20-meter range, very solid mid-range class. I was not expecting that. They are natural plate wearers, which means they can wear plate armor with no penalty. They have shields. They are tanky as hell. So yeah, Paladin vibe there for sure. And they have a block, so they can block, and I would assume their block is going to be like the other blocks in the game, and it'll reduce damage taken by 50%. However, their block is even more powerful because the damage you block heals your party. Now, we don't know the percentage on this. I would expect that it's going to be like 10%, 20%, something like that. There's no way it's going to be 100% of the damage you block heals your party. But a certain percentage of the damage you block is going to heal your entire party. So that's kind of a neat block mechanic, and it'll lead to some pretty big plays with you pulling up your shield and blocking some damage and healing your whole team. I think that is pretty cool. So let's go down the abilities. Your number one skill is called Hand of the Gods, and this is an AoE ground targeted root, very similar to the Druid Master of Staves root, I believe. I would expect it to be very similar to that. Number 2, Tend Wounds. This is going to be probably your primary heal, if I had to guess. This is a reticle targeted heal over time that heals your target and you. I would expect this is going to be a pretty short cooldown, and this is going to be your primary heal that you're using frequently, just looking at the other abilities. Number 3 is Holy Symbol. This is a ground-targeted field you put on the ground that heals your allies and can chain to other targets. I would expect Holy Symbol is going to be your big heal, like your big put this thing down. It heals pretty hard, and it's got a moderate cooldown. I would expect it to be powerful just because all of the other place down heals, like the Standard Bearer standards and the Druid fields they put down, are also very powerful when it comes to healing, so I expect this would be the same. Also, Divine Light's another example. So that's cool. Then you've got Illuminate. Now, this is a very interesting heal. This is an AoE heal that puts an AoE heal over time spell on all of your party and restores their class resource. So that is an interesting twist on a heal. It's a heal that you could potentially use aggressively at the start of a fight to supercharge your teammates, for example. Your class resource is essentially your mana bar, your energy bar, your combo points, whatever sort of resource your class uses. This heal is going to give you that and heal you. So that's kind of an interesting twist on a heal. I like that. I would expect this is going to have a very long cooldown. It sounds really good. But I would assume it's probably going to have a pretty long cooldown, 40 seconds, 35 seconds, something like that. So that ability is called Illuminate. Then you've got Flash of Light, which is another interesting ability. This is just a 20-meter blind. Now, this is a unique skill because it's the only blind in the game that has range. All the other blinds are up close. I think Shield Glare might have some range, but I think that might be melee as well. All the other blinds in the game are very, very close range. So this being 20 meters is kind of interesting. It's going to, I don't know, it's different. I like that. So flashlight, 20-meter blind. Then you have 2 auras. So the auras function somewhat similarly to Bard songs. You apply them, 2-second cast time, and then you have an AoE aura that affects your entire party. I think it's 50 meters is the range. And clerics have a choice of 2 of them. And you can only have 1 active at a time. However, if you have 2 clerics, you can run them both. The first one is called Vengeful Aura, 200 attack power. And the second one is called, what is it called here? Holy Aura, which is 20% max health, which is pretty good. So you've got 2 auras to pick from there. That's pretty neat. And your ultimate powers, you also have 2 ultimate powers to choose from. Miracle, which is a giant AoE heal that gives your party a crit buff, crit percent chance buff. And then this one is crazy. This one is absolutely nuts if this is 1-to-1 conversion. Divine Order. This is where, as a cleric, you can whip out your dick and just pound it on the table, I guess. Divine Order converts all support power to attack power and allows your left-click hammers to chain targets. So, like, if I hit this guy over here, it'll bounce to that guy and that guy. I don't know what the range of that chain is going to be. Maybe it's melee range. Maybe it's 20 meters. We don't really know. And also means it also lets your hammer stun every 6 seconds. So every 6 seconds you throw a hammer, it's going to stun. So where it gets crazy is something crazy going on outside. Sorry about that. Where it's crazy is the support power to attack power conversion. So what they recently did is they went in and gave healers a ton of support power. I mean a ton, like 3,000 plus support power some of our healers have right now. And the attack power values are nowhere near that. Like if a lot of attack power in Crowfall right now is I think like 300, 400-ish. That's like a lot. And the healers have like 3,000 to 4,000 support power. So if this is a 1-to-1 conversion of support power to attack power, and you have a guy throwing hammers with 3,000 attack power, holy crap, that's going to be crazy. But it might be like a 0.5 conversion or like a 0.3 conversion. We don't know. But hopefully they're aware of that being crazy potentially. Who knows? That's it for the cleric abilities. I am super pumped for this class. There is a very, very high chance I main this class and put a lot of time in on it. I think it's going to make for an exceptional bard. I think the cleric bard is going to be unreal powerful. I think it's going to be the best bard class, and that's the role I want to play in this game, or at least one of the roles I want to play. I really like the idea of being this big team player, high value, value town, baby. That's what the bard is. The bard is just 100% value town, and with these other utility skills and buffs that you can pick up on a cleric and the heals as well, man, I think cleric bards are just going to be nasty. I've got a lot of really good theory crafting ideas. Probably going to make a bard cleric build video when the class does eventually come out. Who knows if it'll play the way I think it does or the way I think it will in my head. We don't really know. No one's played it yet. But the cleric, it's going to be a popular class for sure. Druid is also going to be pretty popular. I think a lot of people want to play healer in Crowfall or play the healer role in Crowfall. So, yeah, lots of exciting stuff coming out of the Crowfall camp. We got the campaign world testing started. That's going to be ramping up to more and more backers as time goes on. The objectives are going to get better and better. And, man, things are ramping up. We've got a sick Tuesday live stream this Tuesday. There's going to be a 12-hour live stream with lots of new information and stuff, probably a lot of race class stuff. Maybe we'll see the cleric. That'd be sick. That'd be so sick if they dropped the cleric bomb on us. Anyway, so be sure to check out Crowfall. If you are interested in Crowfall, be sure to sign up with the link in the description down below. If you sign up with that link, you will get into the beta for free, as well as getting 5% off anything you buy. So sign up with that link down below. Get your spot in the beta now so you're not waiting around in line behind a bunch of other people. Just sign up. Even if you don't want to buy the game, just sign up with the link so you can get your place in line. So sign up. You got nothing to lose. It's free. So do that. And I get a little kickback from it. So, you know, you boys got to make that Skrilla. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you next time. Have a good one.